Welcome to this tutorial. Today, we're going to talk about conditionals. Overview. Let's get started. Now, conditionals are sentences with two clauses, a main clause and an if clause. Note that conditionals state that the action in the main clause can only take place if a certain condition in the if clause is fulfilled. Have a look at the example over here. If we don't hurry, we will be late. Now, this is a conditional sentence, and it's used to talk about an action that can only take place, being late, if we do not hurry. Now, the order of the main and if clause is not fixed, although when the if clause precedes the main one, make sure to use a comma. Now, there are 5 types of conditionals in English. Let's have a look at those conditionals. A. Zero conditionals. Zero conditionals are used to describe things that are always or generally true. Thus, we refer to the real and possible situations, general truth, or scientific facts. Note that zero conditionals follow the pattern if plus present simple, present simple. Have a look at the example below. If the food is too spicy, drink milk. Now this sentence refers to a general truth. B. Conditionals type 1 or first conditionals. Now these conditionals are used to describe future events that will happen or are likely to happen. Note that these sentences are based on facts. Thus, we make statements about the real world or particular situation. Remember that first conditionals follow the pattern if plus present simple and future simple. Have a look at the example below. If everything goes according to plan, we'll be very rich. Now this sentence describes a future that is likely to happen. C. Conditionals type 2 or second conditionals. Now these conditionals are used to describe hypothetical, unlikely, or even impossible situations. These sentences are not based on facts, thus we can refer to any time. Note that second conditionals follow the pattern if plus past simple and would plus verb. Have a look at the example below. If I won the lottery, I would put the money in the bank. Now this sentence describes a situation or a future that is unlikely to happen. D. Conditionals type 3 or third conditionals. These conditionals are used to describe a past event that is different to what really happened. These sentences are solely hypothetical. Thus, there is always some implication of regret. Note the third conditionals follow the pattern if plus past perfect and would have plus verb ed or the past participle. Have a look at the example below. If we hadn't slept in, we wouldn't have missed our flights. Now this sentence is used to describe a past event that is different from what really happened. And note that there is an implication of regret. E. Mixed conditionals. Now, mixed conditionals refer to conditional sentences that combine two different types of conditional patterns. They are used to refer to a time in the past and a situation that is ongoing in the present. Remember, the mixed conditionals usually follow the pattern if plus past perfect and would plus verb. Have a look at the example below. If they had argued less, they would be a perfect couple. Note that there are two different types of conditional patterns in the sentence, and they are referring to a time in the past and a situation that is ongoing in the present. And now, let's review and practice a bit. Now follow the patterns and write down the sentences. 0 conditional, if plus present simple, present simple. When it to get too hot, people not to feel well. When it gets too hot, people don't feel well. Type 1. If plus present simple, future simple. If we to go to the bar, I not to drink anything. If we go to the bar, I won't drink anything. Type 2. If plus past simple, would plus verb. If we to have more money, we to buy a new couch. If we had more money, we would buy a new couch. Type 3. If plus past perfect would have plus verb ed or the past participle. If the Smiths to set up an alarm, they not to miss the flight. If the Smiths had set up an alarm, they wouldn't have missed the flight. Mixed type. If plus past perfect, would plus verb. If Peter to play the piano every day, he to be rich and famous now. If Peter had played the piano every day, he would be rich and famous now. Here is a short story using conditionals. Listen as I read so you can see how they are used in real-life conversation. After I'm done, make sure you understand all the grammar and read aloud yourself so that you can work on your own fluency and pronunciation. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? If I could live anywhere, I would move to Japan. I think this country is simply amazing and it's very safe there. Well, if you learn Japanese, you can't move there. If I had studied at high school, I would be there already. It's a dream of mine to live there at some point. And now, time for you to practice on your own. Read the sentences below and decide which conditional is used. A. If you listen to me, you would remember the story. B. If I find your scarf at my place, I'll let you know. C. Kids love playing outside when it's summer. D. If my mom had come later, she wouldn't have noticed the mess. E. We would use public transport less often if we bought the car. And now, underline the correct word or phrase in the following sentence. A. What would we do if we missed our bus? B. He would have freaked out if his wife had spent all his money on clothes. C. I would be surprised if he didn't knew the answer. D. If you decide to go out with your friends tonight, let me know. Will you let me know in advance? E. I would be a famous writer if I had started writing earlier. And now let's check your answers. Second conditional, first conditional, zero conditional, third conditional, second conditional. What would we do if we missed our bus? He would have freaked out if his wife had spent all his money on clothes. I would be surprised if he didn't know the answer. If you decide to go out with your friends tonight, let me know in advance. I would be a famous writer if I had started writing earlier. Thank you for watching this tutorial.